Hello, hello. Thanks, Wabbit. Hi, Eric. Tao, good to see you all this evening. Yeah, let me turn the speakers off so we don't get that weird feedback. And now I can lose the headsets for the moment until I need to listen to something else. Much of my planning for this evening was preempted. So I'm kind of running a little bit loose tonight, but we're going to have some fun anyway. Lots of fun stuff to deal with tonight. Fun stuff here. So, let's hop to it, I guess. Hey, my swirly light in the background isn't swirlying. I wonder what's up with that. Oh well. It's changing hue, sort of, but it's not swirling. It's supposed to be swirlying. Oh well. What do you want for 15 bucks? Anyway, so let's get into some stuff here. In no apparent order. There's like three things that I want to get on tonight. One is some more visual effect stuff, which I can set up and start to play with a little bit. Although at the moment it's not getting. Should get some audio input. So we've been doing this thing that I've been using using a Chromebook, an ancient Chromebook for to make the swirly backgrounds, and I wanted to do something a little better, so I was able to pick up one of these Eyesy things. Let me see if I can get a camera down on that real quick, or at least close to it. Let's see. I'm going to have to go for the big preview shot tonight, so I can see this. And that'll be on camera 2, and we'll swing that puppy around. I say we'll swing that puppy around and down and zoom in real quick over to there. If I zoom in real quick, I can't spin so fast. All right, let's take a look at this thing, if I can get a shot there. Here we go. It's dark on dark because, you know, they're now painted black instead of orange. Let me see if I can pump some. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take it on, and we'll take a look at it. Let's see. That's on camera 2. So we'll do that. And I will turn the light up a little bit here. There we go. So there it is. It's just a little box. Nothing fancy. It's got nice fancy wooden buttons, though. I like the little wooden buttons. But really just a few controls. Depending on the mode, these knobs do various things. But let's see. Let's go ahead and let's look at what it's looking at now. And I don't have a preset for it yet because I wasn't able to get that set up. But here we go. There's, let's see. That goes, oh, that'll work. That's cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and take that. All right, so now you can see it in the background of that. And let's get the camera off. See if it'll let me do that. There we go. Oh, wrong thing, of course. So back to that. There it is. So it is audio reactive. And like I said, I don't have a shot set up for this quite the way I want, but if I play music, which you may or may not hear, it should be reacting somewhat to that music. Oh, you know what? Probably not, because I don't know if I have that set up. So, next thing to do real quick is to go to the computer. And it's not really the best shot, so let's go to the computer full screen. And what I need to do is I need to make sure that I am set up to send audio to where it's connected. Let's see. This video is sponsored by LSD. Yeah, it's a little trippy. So where did I hide the mouse? I had to move the mouse out of the way. Now I've lost the mouse. Great. Oh, here it is. Okay. Let's see here. So what I need to do, I need to put this in a mode that I can see. I need to send Viz out is this guy. So I need to make sure that I am sending audio to Viz out, which should be getting music from the synth bus, so that's good. Oh, but it's the wrong Viz out. Shoot. Alright, so I need to add another send real quick. Sorry about this, guys. Get to see behind the curtains here. Yeah. Another return bus will work. We'll stick it over here at the end. And its output is going to go to sends only. No. Oh shoot, I don't know how I'm going to do this. How did I have this working the other night? This isn't going to work this way. Let's see. Delete that. All right. Let's look real quick and see if maybe it is getting an input. So let me go back to what you're seeing, and I'm going to switch back. Sorry about this, guys. Like I said, prep time got eaten up, and that's the way that ends up. So let us look at the Trippy Vision full screen. We'll just cut to it. There it is. All the pretty colors. It's got a menu. Oh, it is getting audio. Good. Okay, but too much of it. That I can deal with. That is on, I think, this output. Yeah, that's a little less. Okay, so now it should be more reactive. So you can see as I'm talking, the video kind of, hey Hayes, how are you? You can see that the video responds a little differently now. So we can turn the menu off. And this is one of the many, I mean, there's a whole bunch of different programs in here. This is just one that I happen to set up to do a little bit what I like, but there's, you know, there's dozens of these. It drips down from the top. Here's another one, you know, and it's, again, reactive to my voice. The amount that I talk right now is controlling how much it drips. And there's flashy dots. Sorry for the folks with the who may be triggered by that. Let's get off of that. Some are more or less reactive than others. So yeah, Fruity Loops, man, fun stuff. So let me go back to that one that I had in there already, that I kind of selected to work with. So this is a work in progress, and some of the cool things about this, let's see if I can get something back to normal here, our normal shots. Yeah, we'll just go to that, or that, and choose however it is it works. Anyway, so so how do I like versus just milk? I have not gotten into learning Python and Pygame yet, but that's really what I'm going to have to do to program it anymore. I just poking around with it. You know, I've just gone through some of the factory presets. The factory presets are, they remind me of an Atari 2600 video game or an old Commodore 64. It reminds me of that kind of graphics. So they're blocky, but I also know just there's a few things that I have seen in testing that I haven't really got a whole lot of time with. But it can do beautiful gradated colors and all that kind of stuff, and it's fully reactive. I just have to either program my own or find some. There are a couple of repositories that have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of scenes and modes for the thing. So I have to find some that I like, and start fooling with those, getting to see how they're made. One of the nice things about it is we'll get to the Hypno and I want it to be. I want to be able to get into the higher resolution graphics with it, which it's going to do. It'll do them fine. It's just the ones that come in the box are, cruder, and so the thing with Hypno, because I really like the Hypno, in a lot of ways, but the thing with Hypno is that it is not as easily reactive to just plain old ordinary audio. So, and I don't have anything to do CV with, and Hypno does really well with CV. So there's, that's some of the differences. The Eyesy can do audio, plain audio in, stereo audio in, and MIDI in at the same time. And that's also a matter of getting it tied in and programmed to do it. But I can control the knobs. There is also there have also been some additions to it, so that it will take webcam video in and mix that, and I can create webcam video here pretty easily. So it fits well into my scheme. The other thing is, it fits well into my scheme. It's, sell price, or the list price of a new one's $395. The list price on the Hypno is $7-ish. So it's less expensive. It's half the price, or around half the price, and just kind of drops in. It's almost plug and play. So, and I found, and again, I was poking around with it. I've only had about an hour with the thing. So there's that. So anyway, that will start to play with more. I had wanted to set up some combo shots where I could have it in the background while we're, instead of the Chromebook. But again, Plumpy, howdy, welcome to the party for Christmas. So for the camera. So anyway, I'm pretty happy. There was some minor snafu with the purchase. I put thanks to Eric, I found this one on. I got this one off Reverb. There were a couple of hitches in that get along, but by and large, it's here and it works. So that's fine. So again, matter of me getting to know it and it getting to know me, and we're going to have some fun with it. I know. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing is, I may in the long run end up leaving the Chromebook in the mix too, because I can have other uses for it as a video source, or I can mix the two together and get some really crazy results. As far as the PTZ, the new PT is in. You are looking at it now. It is. I will say that it is not a $3,000 camera, and the one that I got is that BZB Gear 10X camera that we were talking about on the Discords, and that I talked about last week a little bit, the week before. I may be able to show you a picture of it. Let's go to here, and then let me go to, is it this one? Is it? Yes, it's that one. Look at that. Got the right picture up. So it's this little guy. It is, it's about as tall as my hand, which probably doesn't tell you a whole lot. The picture's okay. It's not as good as it's not as good as a $3,000 camera. I should not have expected it to be. Otherwise, it's pretty darn nice, and it's certainly good enough. where it starts to fall apart, and let's see, I've got a shot. We're going to go to it. Let me jump up to the next screen here, and we're going to go to Lucky Cat Cam. And here we go. It's going to zoom over there and slide around. The movement is reasonably smooth. It doesn't do the, it doesn't do ballistics and that kind of thing, just like the expensive one. So if with this guy, if you look, let's go ahead and take that full screen. If you look up in the shadows, you can see some noise and some grunge, which is, let me get the chat out of the way. So for the money, it's really not a bad little camera. It's certainly nothing that I'm going to complain about. But like I said, if you look up in the upper right-hand corner, up there in the shadows, and along where the blue cup is and that kind of thing, you see some noise. But frankly, you see that kind of noise too with the, in some extent, with the big one too. So I mean, it's not like it's horrible, and it moves okay, and it more or less remembers its shots. It does tend to forget. Autofocus can be a little bit tricky with it. It's not quite as good, but it doesn't do badly, and I'm not displeased. Yeah, pink noise. I'm not displeased. I will say that, and you can, if you can see some little bit of artifacting here and there, but it's really not a bad little PTZ camera for what I paid for it, which I paid $450 for it, plus plus tax. Because I could get it and I went ahead and did that because I could get it faster from B&H than from one of my distributors. So, there is a 1/4 inch mount. Right now, it is mounted on. I've got one of those multi-arm things that holds the monitor and a light and camera and whatever else, and mic stand and all that kind of thing. So it's mounted on that, and that's a 1/4 inch thread. So yes, there's a 1/4 inch mount to ceiling mount it. Eventually I should put it up there on the ceiling, and return the one that's up there to its actual owner. I'm going to wait until I have to, I think. And honestly, if and when that time comes, I'm going to buy another one of these guys, and I'll still have 2 PTZ cameras. It's not heavy. It's certainly not as heavy as the big one. I'd have to look up the actual weight, and I don't have. The manual is downstairs, unfortunately. I could hang tight. Let me find it. Let me find a screen that I can look at and look it up for you. Heck, we'll do this. Let's do that, and I'll grab the mouse, and the camera zoom to the manual. No, unfortunately, I don't. Yeah, we'll use Edge for this, I guess. Let's see. Plus, set later. Go away. Stuff. Jeez. Let's see. So bzbgear.com. And it's going to show. Oh, they got their new fancy controller on the website now. If we go into cameras, PTZs, it's this guy. Now they show the list. The regular pricing on this is $749 to $799, depending on what lens you get. And that's the so this one that they have an MSRP of $749 is the camera that I have. If you go to B&H, it's listed on their website for $549, and then if you click through and put it in your cart, that's when you get the $449 price. I don't know if that's a limited time price or if that's the forever price, but that's what it was. That's what it is now. Let's see. So let's go to specs. And the weight is 3.5 pounds, or 1.6 kilograms. So not very heavy. And let's see, we'll go to any other. Oh, some neat things that it does. It can simultaneously spit out HDMI, SDI, which is a serial digital coaxial broadcast signal. It can spit out webcam video over Ethernet and USB. So, I mean, all at the same time. And so I could conceivably stream someplace with it, just its shot, separately than what I'm using for streaming to YouTube on the computer. So there's, that's a lot of utility for the money. For those who are wanting to be in the NDI space, they do have an NDI version of this camera. It's a bit more expensive, but they do have it. And there's that stupid volume control thing again. I got to do something about that. But not tonight. It'll go away on its own eventually, maybe. And that's sitting over top of what PTZ or iPhone with your hand. Well, yeah. Somebody was making at one point a PTZ mount for an iPhone. I have no idea how well it worked, or even if it worked, but you clamped your iPhone in it, and then it had a PT and remote to control camera zoom. I don't know if it's any good or not. You could use a gimbal, sure. Actually, yeah, that's a good thought. So I have somewhere a cheapo gimbal that has. It does pan and tilt, and it will control the camera via Bluetooth, I think. So it can do zoom and focus, and it also has the capability of doing automatic following. So when you move, it'll pan with you. So there's that, and then you can also remote control it. If you have got it shooting at something, you can remote control it. The control is not very, very fine. It kind of takes off and wanders wherever it wants to take off. But this thing was only like $149 or something like that at Micro Center. It's the only reason I bought it was because it was cheap and I had a gift card. Otherwise, it would still be at the store as far as I'm concerned. I've used it 3 times. I've had it for a couple years. And so I will try and remember to put a link, send you a link to it, Wabbit, just so you can see it for whatever reason. So there's that. So that's the camera. It goes where I want it to go. I was able to set it up so that I can control it. That's another neat thing. I've got in here now. Let's get the other camera going where I need it. And I don't know why I just did that with the rep. I'm so conditioned now to doing these things with the remote. I went ahead and put in the controller, the big controller, so I can control the overhead camera. Let's see if I've got this right. Nope, that was the wrong. I don't have that on. I don't have the one up, the overhead camera on this yet. Sorry. I'm going to have both cameras on this controller, which has like 200 or some. No, it's not. Yeah, it can. I think it can do PoE. I'm running it off its power supply. Both of these cameras can do PoE, but you need a really honking PoE switch for it to work. And I don't have. I'm just going to run them off their power supplies. I will say that the one that's in the ceiling, the one you're looking at now, it won't work with just any PoE switch. It really wants a lot of oomph. Whoa! What did I do? Ew, I don't want to see that. Go back there. When the camera comes in this close, your teeth just have to be their whitest. So let's see, camera 1, shot 1. Get it back where it belongs. There we go. Now we can. So anyway, I've got that control on the Stream Deck now, which is cool. And eventually I'll have them both on the Stream Deck and on the remote controller. The Stream Deck has really been a lot of yeah, Wayne's World, except in Wayne's World it would have been in focus. Excellent. I better be careful with that. I'll get a copyright strike. Where was it going? Oh, so being able to control everything. The Stream Deck has been really neat in being able to, as I'm getting things set up, I'll be able to set up. You know, when I press the button for the camera, it will move the camera or for a shot, it'll move the camera or cameras where I want them, pause the amount of time that it takes to get there, and then switch to the shot for me with, you know, all the layouts and the whole thing. So it's making running the show a little more smoothly. Except tonight I don't have all the presets. So yeah. The ATEM is really just there in case I need to do something manually, because right now I'm running pretty much the entire standard show from the Stream Deck. You asked for a Stream Deck for your birthday and were denied? Oh my gosh, they're only $150. They're not that much money for the little ones. You know, if you were, I could see it if you were buying the new Pro version that's rack mounted and, you know, $1,000. But yeah, $150. Jeez, I don't know. Anyway, it's. I will say that setting up the Stream Deck is. It can be a bit of a rabbit hole. You know, I spend a lot of time playing with it, and. So, yeah, I do the same thing, Jeff. I just buy my own. It actually works out pretty well. I buy my own. My wife buys her own. We'll buy stuff, each other little things. But for the stuff, you know, we just buy stuff for ourselves. And there's no real particular time of year. We don't do birthdays and Christmas and all that kind of stuff very much. We do a little bit, but you know, we just do what we need to do when we need to do it. I am using Companion, I would say it would be doable. It would not be doable what I want to do without Companion, because I'm doing so many things where I'm trying to control multiple things at one time. You know, I'm controlling the ATEM. I'm controlling the camera at the same time, and there's something else I threw into the mix the other day. You know, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on at once. So, yeah, clothes and socks. That's all we get. You know, maybe the occasional tie if we're unlucky. Actually, I haven't gotten a tie for a gift in I don't know how long, because I haven't worn one in I don't know how long. So anyway, so that's the visual side of things, and again, I wish I'd had more time to get the Eyesy into the mix better. I know what I could do. Let's see. Bear with me a second. Let me put. I'll let you see what I'm doing. I'm going to swap inputs so that on the switcher, so that the switcher thinks that the Eyesy is the Chromebook and the Chromebook is the Eyesy. That should be doable. So let me put PC up on the screen so I can see it, and I'll put it in the float for you guys. That's not it. I want that in the float. Still got some logic issues with the with the Stream Deck just yet. But so I'm going to pop that up here, and I'll be back for that question in just a second, guys. So let me find the ATEM. So this may cause some crackling in audio because it starts to take up a lot of I/O and stuff when I'm doing this. But we'll go to, where is it? This menu, I think. Sources. And so, oh, nope, it's not going to let me do it. All right, won't let me swap them. Shoot. All right, well, it was worth a shot. The bigger, the studio versions or the big pro versions, I can swap these inputs around and reroute things where I want them. Unfortunately, you can't do that here. So, all right, well, so much for that idea. Cancel. Exit. And put that back on program so I see what you guys are seeing. And back to that for now. All right. Now we'll put the chat back on, see what I missed. So, let's see. I missed. So I program everything for the Stream Deck gets programmed through. I'm using something called Companion. I don't know. I haven't even used their app. The actual Stream Deck app, and it's recommended to not use both Companion and the Stream Deck app at the same time. But Companion can do MIDI. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can tell it to do. So it's but you know, I don't believe their app works with the ATEM, which was my reason for going, biggest reason, and it does not work with Sony Visca, I don't think, and a couple other things that I needed to get the Companion app for. So that was my reason there. So that's that. Trying to think if there's anything other video stuff to chat about. I don't think there is. I noticed that the for whatever reason the part of the chat thing is not working right. We're supposed to be getting little pop-ups for when people post something new, and that stopped working tonight. So it was working earlier. So anyway, I'll have to go back and see what that deal was. No other new gear purchases just yet. You know, I had some other graphics here to look at. Let's see what they were, because they may prompt the next part of the show. So let's see what's in here. Oh, that's the Eyesy, which we've looked at, and Graphics 8 has got. So there's this guy. This is on getting further and further up my list. I'm really thinking that one of these is going to be in my future. This is the new Ableton Move. The more I see of it, the more I like it, and it just seems to fill the bill for what I was looking for. I've not noticed any sync issues either, Wabbit. Am I out of sync? Well, that's a loaded question. So that's no comments from the peanut gallery on that. I have not noticed, and I do consume. I consume an awful lot of YouTube. So, you know, like I said, I've not noticed it, but that doesn't mean that it's not a problem. Well, let's see. I did notice, actually, there was one that I watched the other day that I noticed was out of sync. But the general production of that one was just not good. And I think the person commented too on they've been having sync issues. So I don't. But by and large, now everything I've seen has been in sync. Um, I noticed more sync issues on broadcast TV than on YouTube, honestly. So I don't know if you're getting frame drops. Now I've noticed a lot of buffering lately. Not necessarily frame drops, but I've noticed a lot of buffering lately, which I find immensely annoying. Um, but not any not any not any sync issues that occur unless it's been there's been a buffering issue. Like the NASA space flight channel was having a devil of a time the other day. Um, they kept buffering a bunch for me anyway when I was watching the Starship launch and catch the other day, which frankly was amazing. That just was astounding. I did notice there was a little bit of damage to the booster, but by and large, that thing that was mind blowing. Um, if you're having frame rate drops, Wabbit, then that's typically a sign that there's some sort of bandwidth issues, but the solar flares are kind of sort of waning at this point, so I don't know that that's going to be so much of a problem at this point. I'll tell you, man, last week the solar activity was incredible. Um, I don't know if any of you got to see the Northern Lights, but we very rarely are able to see them here in Maryland, in Central Maryland, and we went over to a friend's house that was on the north side of town from where we live, and the show was spectacular. And just I got some astounding pictures with just a cell phone. It was just absolutely amazing. So no worries on that Wabbit. The Move, the Move is it is really. It's a shame the negative press that it's getting from people who just don't want to read the spec sheet, or just don't want to read or listen to what Ableton has said they want the thing to be. And it's like, guys those who are complaining, I'm sorry that you wanted a push light or a mini push. That's not what this is. Plain and simple. And so, it does far more than what Ableton said this is all this is. I mean, there are people that can use it very successfully for creating complete pieces of music, and then just doing final finishing in Ableton. I mean, I've seen some stuff people are doing. It's just incredible. And I think four tracks is great. I cut my teeth recording 4 tracks. So, nothing wrong with 4 tracks for me, especially the way 4 tracks are implemented in this thing. It's 4 stereo tracks. And if you're crafty, you can load up an extra drum track and put samples in that and play them melodically. And so now you've got however many tracks that you want to be, that you can, 16 tracks in a drum rack. So I don't see any real downside to it. It skimps a little bit on performance controls, and it skimps a little bit on sound design controls, because that's really not what it's about. But you can still get an awful lot done, and that was, I don't see many downsides to it. It's not. I don't consider it to be terribly expensive. For all that it does, for $450, it's really not a bad deal. I don't think. So, it's probably the next purchase on my list. I do want to move some things out. I have to decide what those things are going to be yet, because there is a fair chunk of stuff sitting around here doing nothing, and I don't suspect that it's going to do anything soon. And I just, you know, it's kind of sort of fallen out of the game plan. Now that may change when I fool around with some other stuff. I've got some stuff that I want to finish up that I started some time ago, and some of that will require some of the stuff that's sitting around. And then I might say, well, I guess I'll keep it. But you know, I'm also trying to downsize a little bit across the board, not just in music. I can be had for the right price, Wabbit. You know, I'm not cheap, but I can be had for the right price. You know, what the hey? I'll do anything. I'll do almost anything legal for $1. You know, I'm just one of those kind of guys. But I'm going to be coming up to a point, depending on what I do, I may be coming up to a point where I have to watch how much money I make and not make too much. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. That'll be in the next couple months, I decide that. So anyway, so that's the push, and you know, I'm wondering if there's another, or the move. Sorry, what's in the last graphic slot? Oh, this, yes. So, a couple other things, things that I do want to talk about tonight. So coming up Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. This Sunday, coming up at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing another one of the great Gallimaufry jams. And we've got, it's another worldwide jam, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm working on sound still, and I'm going to be kind of sort of, I think, well, I know I'm going to be highlighting the Pythora because it is fantastic for doing these kind of. We're going to kind of sort of theme the show this, or the jam this weekend, and it's going to be, you know, dark ambient, kind of sort of spooky-ish sounding kind of stuff, and Pythora excels at that. It just does some really great. Really great capabilities in doing that. I'm also going to want to play around some with Synths V or Synthx V from Arturia. I've been playing with that a little bit too. It's got some really neat functionality, and so that's what I wanted to do some of tonight. I wanted to try and design another sound in each of those. And I sound design is I mean, I love doing sound design, so I thought maybe we could fool around with so Synthx. So I'll tell you what. I mean, I've done stuff on the channel with Pythora, so we'll save that. Let's do Synthx. Let's do something with Synthx, and see what we can get. And so I'm going to put the headphones back on. Actually, I'm going to. Yeah, I'll put the headphones back on so I can talk while I'm doing this, and hear, and let's see what we can come up with. So let me set some stuff up. Back to here. I'm going to put the put the PC up full screen, and in Ableton here, we're going to add a track. Let's see, let's turn these other guys down. The sounds that I started with tonight are both from Pythora. So let's go ahead and set this guy up. This is going to output to sends only to start with. We'll go ahead and set that up if I can. I can't do that till I got something on it. Okay, let's put... let's do this way. I'm going to do this using, I'm going to load that in Complete Control. So we'll stick that on there. And come on, you can do it. All right, there we go. And let's run down here till I find, let's grab the Arturias. that. Okay, that'll work. And we'll get this out of the way for the moment. Take MIDI from complete control, or from Control S, there we go. Output to sends only. We'll crank up send C, which is my synth bus. And so whatever's on there now, if I play it, yeah, so this is going to be a pseudo copy, or very similar, I think. You know, quick tour. Once it comes up, we don't need that up there. Move this over here. I don't know really anything about the Cherry Audio version. I've never even looked at it. So I don't know if it's got all the dual layer controls or all that kind of thing that hardware die. Yeah, all right. You know, yeah, wrong chat. Yeah, we're not on that channel tonight, Hayes. Oh my. So you know, I will say, let's start out by saying that Synthx is a fairly the synth itself is fairly basic. You know, and in a lot of ways, or in some ways, it's very similar to the very similar to a Prophet. You know, you've got a couple oscillators in here. Each one has got you know, a selection of 4 wave types. You've got triangle, you've got saw, you've got square, you've got pulse on each oscillator. You've got a they call this a layer LFO. So there's an LFO for each of the 2 layers, and it can be sent in 2 directions. You have depth control for 2 directions. So you can use it to send to one of two predefined destinations. The LFO's got this, you know, triangle, saw, reverse saw, square, and a random. And yeah, the usual suspects for LFO control. Then it's got a master LFO that affects everything. Or affects both layers, things on both layers, and again, you know, varying degrees, and so there's that. Single filter with a few types, a couple of envelopes, and you know, chorus and you know, stuff, and it's got 2 of these. It's very much like a Pro 1, exactly. I mean, very, very much like a Pro 1. Except that there's 2 of them. So you know, we've been all over layer A. Flip here, you got layer B. It looks exactly the same. The 2 of them can be combined. Where this gets interesting is in the multi-arp. So you've basically got 4 arpeggiators. There is chorus. Yeah, you're right. No chorus on the Pro 1, exactly. So you've got 4 arpeggiators, and they can. So there's a different control panel on the actual Elka, but so you've got 4 arpeggiators. Now, if we get into the advanced modes, we can start looking at that. There's a whole set of panels that Arturia have added. For the multi-arp, for effects, and then they've got some additional ADSRs and functions and stuff like, you know, additional modulation sources, keyboard controls, and then setting up the macros. So it's you know, there's a whole lot going on there. The cool thing about the ARP, at least in the Arturia version, and I don't know if this is true of the original hardware. I don't know if this is true of the Cherry Audio version. But but I can take the ARPs and I can send them to either or both of the layers. So, and I don't know anyone who was on the Synth Seekers Discord. I shared a couple of things earlier today that used the multi-ARP function to some level of effect. I don't know if it was good or not. Like I named the one thing, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So the ARPs are pretty powerful. Each of the ARPs, we'll go ahead and turn that on just to demonstrate it. You've got a whole bunch of different modes, and number of transposition steps, and so it's a 5-note ARP, and you can there's a whole slew of them here. Menu choice. Then you can control the rhythm of it. How many steps in the pattern, and whether a beat in the pattern is turned off or on. You can vary the gate length, and you can make it somewhat random. So there's all kinds of really neat things you can do in the arpeggiators, and that is the thing to me that sets this apart. Because otherwise, it sounds like pretty much any old synth. It's like, oh, I've got the ARP turned on. So just as the demonstration, let's go ahead. We can turn the second ARP on here, and look at it. And so it's set to be. Let's make it slow, and let's make it 7 steps, say. And we're going to turn these 2 steps off. Let's see. Let's let this one do 2 octaves, or 2 octaves. And let's change it to a more interesting pattern. Just pick one kind of at random. There we go. So now, and we've got instant. We've got instant. If we sit here and Eternian, welcome, good to see you. So now we can do this. We'll set this one to be on B and this one to be just on layer A, and so let's go up to layer B, and just real quick we'll rip out another sound. I'll turn both oscillators to triangle, and we'll set them there like so. I say like so, and we'll close the filter down some, and I will change. That's good. Just we'll go back over to layer A, and we'll crank on the chorus. Oh, let's see. And there's some other stuff in here I haven't even gotten into. So that's just as a start. Now we've got 2 separate, 2 different sounds, and so if I go ahead and hit that ARP. Must have done something to the B sound that was enough that it wasn't going to be that responsive. So let's go on layer A. Let's open that back up for layer B. Oh, I've only got the one turned on. So let's turn both layers on, like so. Where is it? Oh, I got to put it in duo mode. Turn both layers on. That's just the one that I'm working on. So they're both on now. Some volume adjustment here. A is loud. Tracy, good to see you. So I know this is really simple, but this is what kind of makes this different than a lot of other synths out there. And yes, I could do this with, I could just as easily do this with 2 synths and put them on, run Stepic and just feed them from the same MIDI source and blah 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 blah. But it's just a different way to do it. And where it starts to get where it can start to get interesting. I mean, let's turn this one on B off. And so I can set up like a pad with an ARP over it. And yes, there are other synths that do that. If you want to do that in if you want to do that actually similarly in hardware, inexpensively, then you go buy yourself a the Behringer UBXA, and so it's yeah. And again, Jeff, the synth itself is really kind of vanilla. You know, I can make almost exactly the same sounds with this as I could with a Prophet, as I could with any number of other things in the V collection. So the sauce is, the special sauce is down here. And that's where it's, you know. Now, if you're, in your world, Jeff, I mean, do you have a Metropolix? I can't remember if you do or not. If you've got a Metropolix or a Metropolis or anything like it, then yeah, this is not going to be exciting to you at all, because you know those are so yeah. So if you've got Metropolix, you know that runs that arpeggiator sequencer runs circles around this. No two ways around it. And there's I guess there are other things in that. Well, I'd say Metropolix is the, you know, the sequencer, and then you can route that to what 4 other things, and you know, and they're all doing their own thing, you know, and then yeah, other sequencers too. You know, Metropolix is neat because of its ability, because of some of its abilities in being able to be scale aware, and you know, which this is also. I mean, this is the arpeggiator here is scale aware. I should put it in the scale that I'm playing in tonight to make it make more sense. Let's see, come here. Come on, give me the scale types. There we go. Where is it? Natural minor. So, you know, it's aware of scale, which is nice. The TTO3 is not hard. Is hard to beat. Yeah, it's a good sequencer. You know, and there's, you know, there's a zillion good sequencers out there. So anyway, let's. I think what I want to try and do. Let's go ahead and see if we can make something with this that I'll be able to use on Sunday. So I want something that's going to turn the ARPs off for now, and I'm going to turn. We'll start with layer A. I'll turn the volumes on layer B down. And let's see, where do we want to go with this? What do we got here now? Yeah, we got that, just that. That's boring. Oh, let's see. We want to make something that is unpleasant, I think. The pyramid is a the pyramid is there's a lot going on in there. That's a really cool synthesizer, or a really cool sequencer. A lot to like in that. I understand the SQ64s can be maddening. Yeah, they've so much potential in that box. Okay, let's turn that to. And let's start to make this stuff angry. Get some PWM going, or some. Yeah, let's do it this way. Get these two cross-modulating each other. No, that's not what I want to do with that. So another thing, and I'm sitting here, going along. If I do this and oops, forgot to set that up. Let's see. You're gonna get some zippy on-air camera moves here. Let's see, that is shot number 3 now. So one thing that I like a lot about some of the new Arturia stuff, and this is no difference, the Arturia stuff is now NKS compatible, or a lot of it is. So I can now do all the editing for the software using my keyboard, and that was one of the things I really wanted to be able to do. I don't have the shot yet that has the two of them flipped. There's a whole bunch of shots I still have yet to program. I just haven't had time. So we go into edit mode. I've got all the pages for all the various things. So we go into layer A, and what's that, Hayes? The SQ, the SQ64. One thing I have noticed, it's been slightly disappointing in some of the Arturia instruments, is they miss a switch or two here and there on the miss a switch or two on the controls, but could be worse, I guess. Timing is everything, Hayes. There are things that I have purchased that I would not, I wouldn't have purchased them if it weren't for the timing. Alright, let's get some filter stuff going on here. Okay, I don't think it's angry enough yet. This is the part where I talk to myself, guys. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to send the LFO. I may need to come to the computer for this just because, see, where's that LFO? I want the LFO on the filter. Can I not get that from there? Well, that would be a drag. Oh, wait a minute, here we go, over here. Depth to filter. Oh, here we go. I'm going to break down and use the mouse. I don't want that much of that. So Tracy, you're rolling your own sequencer in hardware, is that it? Or doing it in software? Or both? I need more filter. To get a little screamy. Eurorack, okay. A very long time ago, I designed my own modular synth. I mean, a long, long time ago, and the parts all worked. I never had the resource to build the whole thing, and this was long before there was Eurorack. Everything was 5U then, and I wasn't even in a position really to build it to any standard other than, you know, control voltage standards. But that was a long, like I said, a long time ago. Okay. Oh, this is one thing I noticed that was lacking here, unless I missed it, which is entirely possible. But I don't see. Oh, here they are. They are there. Okay. I was missing the way to do dotted, and I think I actually found it the other day too. Now that I think about it. Oh yeah, yeah. Those format standards have been, ongoing and evolving for years. And I mean, I started on 5U Moog. I started to head down the path, and Hayes, and I was, I was close to starting to buy stuff, and I said, you know what? No, I need to, I need to not do this, because it was getting real expensive. I mean, I was just planning. It was getting real expensive real fast, and I would rather. I would rather use monolithic synths. It just really gets down to it. And I bought the Polybrute, and I have absolutely no regrets about that. It is, I will say, of my hardware, it is my favorite. As much as I love the Take 5, the Polybrute is just it's a joy for me. Well, and so I'm curious, Jeff. You've obviously you have you've got a Matrix Brute, and so I'm curious as to what it is in the Polybrute that calls to you. And are you talking specifically the 12? So with the new keyboard, is that it? Because I can see that being a serious call. Yeah, I wish the 12 cost less. I really do, because I would love to have the 12, and but this I was initially concerned that 6 voices was going to be insufficient, and it's really not. The 6 voices is just fine, and then talking less or fewer voices. The Take 5 is only 5. I have yet to run into a situation where 5 has not been enough. The morph is super cool. I mean, just absolutely super cool. And it's playing the morph is a lot of fun. So Jeff, does this sound dark? Good and dark to you? I can back the resonance. I've got a number of filters stacked here, so I can back this guy off. That should take some of a little bit of the grief off the top end there. And that should work well too, especially if I keep it down low. Tracy, I do poorly with pads, which is actually the concern that I have about the Move, is that I don't get along well with pads, and I get along even worse with guitars. So keys are my thing. I've been playing keys now for well over or for over 50 years, and so it's it's just the way I think now musically. Onyx, good to see you. Thanks on the music. As far as doing these the stuff, I mean, the gear that I'm reviewing is basically the gear that I have and the stuff that I buy. I'm not in a position yet where folks are sending me anything, and I don't know if that'll ever really happen. But so it's all just pretty much everything is stuff that I either buy or is free or I borrow or whatever. I do these. I play with this stuff and talk about it because I like it. It's fun. This is a lot of fun for me. I'm going to stack another filter on top of this, just to kind of take a little bit of the edge off, and then we'll put something with some motion to it. I wish Tracy that I had learned to play guitar first and then piano. I think then I would have a much different approach musically. Pedals are using pedals on synths is a lot of fun too. I did a lot of that. I did a lot of that in 23. The January 23 thing was all synths and pedals. Well, and Jeff, if I'm honest, yes, my very first instruments were woodwinds. I played clarinet, bass clarinet, and sax. Jeff and I have actually talked about. I've got a friend who is a longtime Lyricon player, and he now plays an Iwi mostly. He's also a very good keyboard player. But he has, of the 13 or so remaining Lyricons in the world of all three models, he has 7, I think, right now. I don't know that I don't know that more than one of them works fully. All right, that's going to be good bass. Let's see if we can get some motion over top of this thing. I'm going to go ahead and switch to turn this guy down. And we'll switch over to layer B. And let's make something that can move over top of it with the sequence, with an ARP. And let's see what we got here. Okay, let's do this. Make a sound. On B. I'm going to do this with a square and a pulse. Now these are going to share the same effects as the other layer. Let's make this a little. That's almost got a little bit of, just starting out with a little bit of creepy organ kind of sound. Let's put a little bit of pink noise on it just to get some texture in there. And we'll take the LFO, we'll make it a triangle, and we're going to send it to pulse width of 2. Little more. And then we'll send it to the filter. It's already there. Cool. That was easy. Not much else to mess with on that, really. We'll give it a light chorus. Okay, we'll turn its volume down. Turn its ARP on. Do that guy, just 1 octave. Shorten it like that. Why is it holding notes? Oh, because I've got it on the wrong layer. That's why. Dummy. Yeah, the bird's making a racket in the background. Gonna have to do a better door. Something tells me she's not getting the attention she wants. That sounds just too friendly and chirpy and fun. Can't have that. So let's take both of these guys and pitch them down an octave. See what happens if I mix these two together now. I just want this for some motion more than anything else. So back to B. We'll make the droney thing the primary sound here. Over here, I'm going to kill the release time on the amp a little bit, I think. It's getting too sloppy. And bring that up louder, and maybe we will bring that up. Close this filter down a little bit. That sounds like an electric guitar being mashed and affected too much. So let's take the distortion down. Okay, it's a little better balance. Okay, move this back over here. We will put these back up an octave. Oops, wrong one. Alright, now we'll do some keyboard controls, get some aftertouch. Oh, send it to alright, let me send my aftertouch somewhere, please. Oh, come on. Why can't I? Duh. There we go. A little more. I know what else I'm going to send that to. Let's grab Aftertouch again. I love Aftertouch. And this also supports MPE, but I don't have an MPE controller. That saying about using breath. I'm trying to read the chat while I'm doing this. And oh, what Jeff, on the EWI, you said something has an EWI-ish fingering system. Is it not in line with other other woodwinds, or what's the deal there? Oh, your controller, okay. But if I could remember how to play a clarinet, I could use an EWI. Okay, let's sax and flute, pretty well specific. EWI can do. Oh, cool, cool. So you can set each key to do its own. Okay, neat. Let's go to the functions here. So the functions are neat in this. We can draw. It's kind of a paintable LFO, if you will. I'm never really great with these things, but you can take and split it and curve it, and you can change the shape here, have it do some kind of neat build up, and split it again there, and do a dippy, So you can kind of do your own repeatable random if you want, kind of thing. I actually did a video sometime back where I used this kind of technique in Vital to sequence Vital, or put an arpeggiator into Vital because it doesn't really have one. So I can take this function now, and I'm going to take this and move it to spread. Oops, come back. And we're going to slow it down. And I'm also going to tie it to pan. So if you look close at that knob, you can see its motion is tracking this odd curve that I've done. I didn't get a firm grasp on Bitwig either. Let's turn. All right. I think it's time to give this thing a name. Now we get to see if I can remember how to save anything in here. There, save preset as. And we're going to call this that, and the author is going to be me. Type is not a soft bass. Sound effect. Call it drone. And let's see, ambient, experimental, huge, complex, just giving it some stuff here so I can find it. It can be found again later. It is aggressive for sure. Okay, good enough. All right, so we've made it. We've succeeded in making a sound in Synthx. All right, so we've done that. That was hard. That was hard. So let's do something else. Let's quick add another sound. We'll do this one in, where's the thing? I can't read the, okay, we'll do this one in Pythora. So we'll stick Kontakt out here on the track. And roll down here. That's not where I wanted to start. Okay. Okay. So Pythora is a lot of, this this is the kind of thing where I say this is where I live as far as, you know, designing synth sounds. It is wavetable and sample based, and very easy and quick to get a. And again, Jeff, the hook to me anyway, we didn't really use it in that patch because I wanted this to be more. I had a specific goal in mind with that. The hook for me is the multi-sequencer or the multi-ARP. That's really the hook. Other than that, as I said, it's a very generic synthesizer. You know, and if you're into the vintage monosynth or vintage or early polysynth sound, that's what it does. You know, it's otherwise not a spectacular instrument. I'll be honest. So let's see. We want to do something else here. I've started on a collection of fair collection of my own patches here in Pythora. I've been working on this since it came out. I got it pretty shortly after it came out, and it has been, to say it's been a joy to work with is an understatement. This is just, to me, it's just so much fun, and I can get usable sounds pretty quickly. So I'm going to switch the screen here, so because I'm not going to do as much. All this, what I showed you with Synthx, same things goes on here on the Control S. There are almost every control within Pythora is available on here on the keyboard. There are a couple of switches that for some reason did not make it to the interface, and I'm going to pass that back up the ladder. So hopefully in a future release that those can be added. So let's go ahead and take the PC full screen, and so I can see what I'm doing. Let's see, go back to what I was doing here. Boom. So I'm going to try and find, let's go with something edgy. See what this sounds like. First thing I want to do, I'm going to get just to the wavetable side, so I'll pan that over there. Nah, that's not doing it for what I want tonight. Again, want to make something dark. But I want to try a wavetable that I haven't tried yet. I've messed with a bunch of these already. Evil. Okay, let's see where that goes. No, that one's not going to do it, I don't think. Not as evil as it needs to be. Let's see. Harmonics can be a lot of fun. Except it sounds like an organ. And I'm just looking for something that catches my eye, honestly. What's this do? All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to punch this up on the, I'm going to do this on the, some of this on the keyboard, just because it's easier to roll through things. You'll see the knobs move anyway. One thing that would be nice to be able to do in this is to be able to see, in Vital, when I look at a wavetable, I can see it in a 3D view, which I can't do here. I forgot to set this up correctly too. So let's do that before I go any further. Boom. There. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. So there's a switch that didn't get turned on. Turn this inharmonic level didn't get turned. It didn't make it to the interface on the keyboard. Okay, let's see what we got in the sample. Let's go back to my layer, go to my layer control. So right now we just got a sine wave in the sample side. There's a whole slew of different kinds of samples too. Not stuck to just the standard things. grayish. So with these envelopes in Pythora, you can control. They're a standard, so to speak, ADSR, but you can actually control the slope of the attack, of the decay, and the release, which is kind of nice. Yeah, very organ here going on with that vocal overtone. So I wonder if I go up another octave with the sample. No, not like that. And the parrot is very excited about something, obviously. All right, so let's go to the layer, and we'll mix this even more towards the vocal only. Actually, let's go back the other way for a minute. Okay, here's what I want to do. Okay, now let's get some motion going in this thing. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to try this. Let's do that. Okay. Let's get some LFO action. Start with the first one. Send it to my standard place. It's filter cut off. We'll do it slow, but not too slow. That's a little creepy sounding. Let's take another one, and we're going to take this just, we'll use this on the, on the mix. And we'll take this one non-synchronized, very slow, not very deep. Just kind of back and forth between the two sounds. And we'll take that out of phase there. Oh, I know what I forgot to do. Get myself some width going on that wavetable. All right, liking that so much so far. I don't need to do a whole lot of craziness to it. I'm going to bring the, I'm going to use one more LFO here, and I'm going to target the wavetable gain, which they call amp A, and I'm going to make it real slow, give it a negative depth, and make it so its starts point is different. Actually, we'll sync this one, say 4:1. Alright, let's affect this guy. Probably not going to do anything horrific in here, but we'll use this freak just a little bit. Make it mostly dry. And we'll make it very stereo. a lot of these the creative section of the effects in here have got some really, really neat effects. And most of them have multiple modes that do just wildly different things within the same effect. And a lot of these effects are, actually I think all of them, are effects from the Complete collection, if you have Native Instruments Complete. Don't think I'm going to do much of, well, just a touch of a chorus. Again, very subtle on some of these, and nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's put some delay on this. I think just a standard Psyche will be good on this. Put the we'll put the diffusion delay on there, and make it ping pong. And we're going to give this, synchronize this, and make it kind of slow. And I think straight time. A little heavy on the feedback. I like it. Cool, cool. So that was pretty easy. Like I say, this ends up always being a fairly easy instrument to make a usable sound in. So we've got a nice ghostly kind of creepy kind of sound there. We'll call it, let's go ahead and save this preset and call this one, I always start presets with my initials. That way if they do get out of the user space somehow I can find them easily, or someone else can see who made it quickly. Because one of the things I've noticed here in the Kontakt instruments, this one anyway, and I'm not really fooled a whole lot with others yet, but I don't have a way easily, I haven't figured out an easy way yet to put them in collections. So anyway, let's call this one, for now we'll just call it Ghost Choir. And we'll save that. And so an interesting thing that coming up about Porphyra is that we're still talking about the details on this, but it seems that some of my presets may appear in future versions of the distribution, which is pretty cool. It's very exciting. So looking forward to that, working with them to get some of these over to them for inclusion. Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's I will say, as I've said since I first started playing with this, is, to me, has been one of the most exciting of the Kontakt instruments I've played with. And you know, if you look at my library of Kontakt instruments, it's huge because I've got the entire V collection. So there's, you know, all this stuff over here, you know, and some of them are, I mean, they're really good. There's you know, and I've got some third-party ones as well. Some of these things are really, really nice, but as far as an approachable instrument in Kontakt that and this list here, Jeff, is just the Kontakt instruments, you know, and it's, yeah, V collection is massive. Native Instruments Complete is massive. So, you know, I'm just, you know, and now as Arturia and Native Instruments are working more closely together, if you're using complete control, you can pretty much touch all of Arturia's library now, and so the ecosystem is really becoming very, very useful. So it's getting to be very exciting times there. So that's that. I'm going to play some music. I've droned on, so to speak, for a bit longer than I had intended, as often happens here on Monday nights. But I do have yet Tuesday mornings always also end up being early mornings for me. So Tracy was AFK. Oh, away from keys. Okay. You're going all Sheldon on me there. So anyway, I'm going to wind down for the evening. I'll play some music and maybe mess with these new sounds over some of the other stuff that I had pre-sequenced, and see how they work, because you may be hearing these on these two new sounds on Sunday. So let me get some stuff started here. They are playing already. Keep it nice, simple, 4 tracks, and go from, and the polybrute and the take 5, and go from there. So let's see here. And this is another one of my original patches in Porphyra. As is this. Let me set something here. I'll make sure this is going to work. Pop this up full screen for a minute. Let's see. I need to look at this. Oh, I did that in complete control. Shoot. Can I still control it? Let's see. Okay, that's pushing the polybrute. I'm trying to set up so that I can play both new sounds, and I need to be able to complete control from the key lab. see if that'll work. I'm not going to have all of the controls, but okay, you have to turn that off over here. Set that to auto. There we go. And we'll set that to monitoring the input. There it is. All right. Go ahead and put that back up. All right. I think that's going to do me. I'm going to go ahead and play some music. You guys have a great night. Thanks for coming, Jeff and Tracy and Eric and Wabbit and Eternian and Tao. Thank you all for coming, and we will catch you again soon. And you all have a great evening. Have a good Monday, or rest of your Monday if you're early into it, or have a good Monday night if you're crawling off to bed. And we will. Tuesday will be a new day. So see y'all soon. Thanks. Bye. That's not where I want that to look. Let's see. I will have to use this remote. And let me do something so it's not quite so jarring when I make the change here. I'll do a slow zoom out. And then move over to there. There we go. All right, see y'all soon. Thanks.